years, the men dropped dead. What happened? You know what happened. He never cried. That's what happened.
You know, and I didn't really know what she was saying at the time, you know what I mean? Because everything else in the world was suggesting otherwise.
Right.
But, man, so my mom used to tell me as a kid, she was like, yo, you gotta, you know, just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to cry. She used to try to coach me into that. Like, she was like, you know, you gotta get that stuff off your chest. She said, because stress will kill you.
Fellas, I don't know how many of y'all, like, you know, you pull up to your house and then you just sit in your car for like 15 minutes. If that's you, there's probably some things in your life you need to address, man. Like, you might be depressed, you might not be happy, you might be bummed out.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Get Busy Podcast. That's your boy, B. Jones.
And that's your boy, Izzy.
We in this thing.
We here. What's good, baby?
Man, everything, bro.
Yeah?
Like, literally everything, man. So, real quick story, man. I know I got to hit you with the story. We did a bake sale today.
Nice.
So, man, my son was like, my youngest, Miles, he was like, Dad, I want to start a business. I was like, man, what are you talking about? He's like, I want to start a business. I want to do something. I want to sell something. And I was like, okay, what do you want to sell? He was like, cookies. It's like, all right, cool.
He said it like that?
Yeah, literally what he said.
That is awesome.
And so I was like, all right, okay. And he was like, no, Dad, brownies and cupcakes. I was like, okay. Yeah. So that's what we did, man. So, you know, Anaya's been baking for years. Like, that's one of her passions. Okay. And so we hooked it up, man. They put everything together, decorated it. She has all this stuff. We got her a kitchen, you know, all sorts of stuff, right? Went out to the park today, man. Set up a table in the parking lot. Because my thought process is like, yo, if you go to one side of the park, that's only one side of the people. Everybody comes to the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? So people, you know, that's where they come to and that's where they leave out from. So
I'll see you, dog.
Yeah, man. So we get there, you know, he's excited. They got signs made. And I'm like, all right, yo, so we got to talk to everybody. You know, we got to, you know, get out there.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about it because I've been in sales for a while, you know what I'm saying? So I got like knowledge in the back of my head, but he gets out there and he's just like, hey, you want to buy my cookies? You know, he's just like running up to cars, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, yo, whoa, slow down. They didn't even got the car yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on a second.
Yeah,
so
that is your son. Yes, sir.
But it was cool. So, you know, I tried to coach him through it, you know what I'm saying? Give some pointers, and Isaiah was out there. And slowly but surely, man, people started coming and breaking us off. And man, it was a great experience, bro. Like, I'd never done anything like that before. Like, I've seen like lemonade sales and stuff like that, you know what I mean, on TV. But I never actually did something like that. So, but it was awesome, man. So they spent like $5 on a box of brownies. We already had like flour and all, you know, butter and stuff like that. But maybe $12 is the most that we spent on like ingredients. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It made like $60, you know what I'm saying? And that was with stopping early. He got tired after being there for like an hour. He's like, can I go play now? You know? And so we let him, you know, go do it. But it was cool, man, because they were kind of down when people were saying no. But I was like, yo, you got to push through those no's. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's going to say yes. And sure enough, man, people were saying yes, and they got a little bit more encouraged. Yeah. And the cool part was like, he's like, yeah, we can get to buy video games. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, they're dancing video games, Roblox, all these different video games. I'm like, yo, that's cool and everything, but man, you made like $60. You know what I'm saying? What if we do this like every other week? You know, you can make maybe, you know, $150, because if you had sold everything, we probably would have made like $80-$90, you know? Yeah. So you can get close to like $200 a month, and then you can spend a little $40 on yourself. You can buy some more product, you know, you can buy some more brownies, buy some more flour for another $10 or $20, and then you can put the rest of it in the bank, you know? And he was like, oh, and you could see the light bulb go off in his head. Yeah, he's like, so I could still get the Robux for Roblox? And I was like, yeah. He's like, and I can still have money left over. And it's like the light bulb, you know what I mean? And so that felt amazing, bro. Like, that was really cool because I think he got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, okay, so let me ask you this. Yeah. So from the time that he mentioned this idea, and to the day that y'all did it, like, how much time went by?
Like a month.
Okay.
So we get the boys every other week.
Right.
Right. So it was 2 times ago that we had him.
Okay.
So we had him 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And we didn't do it that weekend. At the time before that, he, every other week they're with their mom. So but the time before that is when he mentioned it that week.
Okay. So you're looking at time served.
Yep.
That's really like 4 days, 6 days later. You know what I'm saying? Like, see, all right. So you're a better parent in this aspect than me. Let's say one of my kids was like had the same idea. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't say this, but I'm saying. So I'd have been like, okay, that's what's up. All right, yeah. So why you wanna? Okay, all right. Well, let me talk. I'll talk to your mom about it. That's what's up. Mm-hmm. Then later on that night, it would have been like, after bedtime, talk to Xanta. Hey, Malia, she mentioned, what I'm saying, she want to do this, and Xanta would be like, all right, oh yeah, yeah.
Chirp. There's a little cricket sound in the background.
So, so what you think? That she'd been like, what you think? Mm-hmm. It's a cool idea. We're both thinking like, dang, we busy, we tired. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
How much time would have been? They would have had to
come back and harass you.
They would have had to come back and harass us about it. I'm not proud of that.
Hey, but that's real. But shout out to because it was really the wife that so I'm taking the credit of talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I was out there at the place with him.
Hey, listen, you're the one that's on the podcast, so you're here.
But man, it was really her that spearheaded it, and made sure that it actually happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he mentioned it to me, and then he mentioned it again at the dinner table. And with Nadia, man, she's like a pit bull or something. You know what I'm saying? Like when she grabs a hold of something, that's it. That's it. It's just lockjaw.
That's dope, man.
And so that's pretty cool. And also, man, your kids are in a lot of stuff, bro. Like they got a lot of stuff going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're still working towards that. You know what I mean? So in the meantime,
and then what part of it is? Like I kind of have a fear of like sales. Like a lot of people do. You know what I'm saying? They're like public speaking and, all that kind of stuff. Like people have fear that like public speaking I'm cool with, but like as far as like approaching people to sell stuff is like, I don't like doing that. So I wouldn't want to do that. I would hope my kid will overcome the fears that I have.
Right.
But then I have to be like the example for them and I don't want to let them down. So there's a lot that goes into the long pause. You know what I'm saying?
That's so real, man. So Nadia was, what was it? There was something like dealing with reptiles or no, it was dealing with spiders. And she was like, I wasn't at the house. And she's like literally terrified of spiders. Like not kinda like, almost would jump out of a moving car if she saw one, literally. Like
all spiders, like even
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Like, I'm talking about like if it could be, the little tiniest of tiny. And she's literally terrified. Not like jokingly or it's ridiculous, because in my mind I'm like, yo, man, stop. This is like, stop playing. You're grown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But over time I realized that like this is a legitimate thing.
It's a arachnophobia, bro.
Yeah, like it's real. And so, but she didn't want Naomi to exercise with the same fear. So like, man, she, so she actually teaches Naomi that spiders aren't bad and like they're not. You know what I'm saying? And
that's
so like
dope. She's just lying to her. That's. For a good reason though, you know what I'm saying?
For a good reason, man. And on the inside she's like, about to piss herself. You know what I'm saying? But she,
that's dope, man.
Yeah, so
man,
sometimes our kids help us grow too. That's what's up.
Yeah. That's what's up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
But yeah, look. So man, what we doing today, man? What we talking about?
Oh, how did my week go? Oh, it was good. You know what I'm saying? We haven't met. We skipped a week, but
definitely did.
Yeah, man. So, I told you about when I drove to work. It's 2 Thursdays ago.
Okay.
And I was on the road. I'm 5 minutes from the house and that I'm about to go work at. And then my vision started getting blurry.
Yes.
And then I started getting lightheaded and my heart was racing.
Yes.
And I was scared, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like,
listen, man, it's at that point.
Bruh, this is like you have like things that come up in your body. Mm-hmm. if it's familiar, it don't freak you out. But anything that's new for the first time, super freaky.
Especially at this stage,
bro. So I'm on the, we're kind of like a stop and go traffic. I'm about to like pull over because, like I said, like I never had like my vision just go blurry just for no reason, and like I got my phone in my hand. I'm like, I dialed the 9, I dialed 1. And I'm just waiting because I'm like, I need to have this on board just in case. Absolutely. I don't know what's about to happen. Like if I can't dial it, you know what I'm saying? So
listen.
Yeah, so I pulled over and it slowly goes away. So man, I text my job like, yep, I can't come in today, not feeling well. Man, I hit up Kaiser Permanente, my primary care physician, made an appointment for that day. Went in, they did an EKG, blood pressure, they drew some blood. I was talking to the doctor, like telling him like, what happened. And he was like, so it's probably like either like low blood pressure or like low blood sugar. You know what I'm saying? That's like a common symptom.
Of things.
Yeah. It's a common symptom. So and then when they drew my blood, I was supposed to go back because they had drew my blood like maybe like a year or so ago at Kaiser. And then I had went back for something else. And they were like, oh, you need to come back to do like some blood work or whatever. I'm like, okay.
Was that part of like the annual or something?
Well, I don't remember. I was going in there for something. I can't remember what I went in there the time before that, but they had mentioned something about being pre-diabetic.
Okay.
And then like, my dad's diabetic, my brother was diabetic. And I was like, I'm fairly healthy. Like all my numbers, even like the younger like nurses, like when they're taking like all my stuff, they're like, dang man, you in better shape than me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm usually like, everything's green across the board, which is good, except for like my weight. I'm too heavy. I'm heavier than what I'm supposed to be, right? And so I didn't really pay it no mind. I was like, man, I'm pretty healthy. I'll start eating. You know what I'm saying? I'll start eating right, and I ain't got to worry about that. So when they drew my blood, so that was one of the things that came up. I was pre-diabetic. So like it was like the A1, something I learned about, because I never get sick, you know what I'm saying, like that.
So you don't really pay attention to it like that.
Yeah, I don't even know, like, if you showed me, like, whenever I get my blood pressure taken, I'm just like, they're like, okay, it's so-and-so over so-and-so. I'm just like, I'm waiting for them to tell me something. They just don't say nothing. I'm like, is that good or bad? Like, I don't know what those numbers mean.
Yeah, same here.
But it's always been good. No, it's good. It's always been good. So, so the A1C is what tells you, gives you the scale, like you're supposed to be within this range. So you can't be too low, you can't be too high. If you're at like a 6.5 or above, you're diabetic. Okay. So I was at like 6.1. So I'm like right there.
That's flirting.
Yeah. So that's that's pre-diabetic. So considering like everything with losing Herman, it was like I'm not messing around, like
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So when I got home, like I said, after I got home from the doctor, actually Xanta took me there because like I was a little bit scared to drive, but I know that was going to happen again. And so, we got home, did some research, and like, okay, what foods do I need to eat? What do I need to cut out? Like I said, I don't eat terrible, but I don't, also don't eat great. I don't eat great either. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, just taking my, immediately, like I haven't had like any type of desserts or sweets, anything like since then. And, just eating, less processed foods, more vegetables, you know what I'm saying, certain meats.
How's your fruit intake?
Good.
So question. So since you've stopped with the sweets since then, have you noticed that you've had less cravings since it's been a week or so?
So when I was at my small group, this was a couple of days ago, this past Friday, like one of the ladies had brought like some brownies, and like she had like put them in a nice little dish and stacked them up, had the nuts in them, like they look really good. But it's like, so this is my second small group since that happened. So the first time I remember I think she had made like some pound cake with the strawberry glaze or whatever. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, dang, cause like, you know what I'm saying? But this time around I was just like, oh, that looked good. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not tripping over it. And it's like, you want to take some home? I'm like, yeah, I'll take some home for the kids. So I took some home for the kids.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking about maybe getting a piece or whatever. I just, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I just didn't have that craving, I guess. So, I'm thankful for that.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, man. So, yeah, I'm just trying.
Yeah, that's one of the things. So, man, just to encourage anybody out there, because I've always, the when you start that journey to like move away from whatever it is that like you crave or you desire, it could definitely be a lot more difficult at first, but it does get better as you go along with it.
Yeah, bro. So that's been a blessing. So
that's huge.
Yeah, man. Just trying to do better with the food. So
that's what's up.
So yeah, man. So today, we're doing a reaction video. This is going to be on a comedian by the name of Bill Burr. Very famous comedian.
Definitely. He's been in the game for a long time.
Yeah, man. When I was working for the insurance company, we had like company cars, and our cars had like the XM radio. That's how I discovered him. Like, having a comedy channel on, and like his stuff would come up. I'm like, who is this guy? Because every time he comes up, like he has a distinctive voice. He's like always funny. And so I learned who he was, and we started, looking at his stuff, and like all his stand-ups, hilarious. So like I got him like in like top 3. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying. But so he had this new one that just came out. It's called like something about drop dead.
Okay.
Or drop dead age or something. Basically, the whole premise was like he's like in his 50s, like late 50s, and so some of his friends are like having like health care. So he just like visited, like he had a funeral, you know what I'm saying? And so he was at a funeral with his friends, and he realized like I'm just at that age where like
that's the kind of thing that starts happening.
This stuff is happening, you know what I'm saying? And so
it's real.
So Bill Burr, I thought this was an interesting one, and the reason why I wanted to do a reaction to this particular set, he's not a Christian comedian, because I know we're a Christian-based podcast, but like this particular guy, he has an interesting journey. When he started, he's very brash,
definitely, very
straightforward,
definitely.
I would say controversial with some stuff, according to some people. But since he's gotten like married and had kids, like every time he does a special, like you can kind of see a lot of stuff is changing within him because of the kids. And so like one of the things that's actually probably his most controversial thing was like he was telling this story, basically making this joke about abortion.
Okay.
But he's, it was funny because like as he's setting the joke up, the people who are pro-abortion were like, woo! And I already knew, like, I don't know why y'all cheering. He's about to say something. Like, you can tell the way he's setting it up. He's about to say something against abortion. So anyway, he had this joke, and he was saying, like, it's kind of like baking a cake, having a baby. It's like, you mix everything, you do all the measurements, put it in the pan, you put it in the oven, and it's like an abortion. It's like somebody, like, opening it up and just taking it and just, like, throwing it across the room. And you're like, bro, why you throw my cake? It's like... But it's not a cake though. He like, but it was gonna be.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, so that ended up like blowing up the internet, you know what I'm saying? Because, abortion is a hot button topic, and because of who he is, you wouldn't expect for him to be like a pro-life type of dude. But again,
right.
He just started having kids like later on in life, you know what I'm saying? And his perspective. Growth, yeah, bro. So he's dropped a lot of jewels just being like a guy's guy.
Yep.
No emotion, no feelings, doesn't care. You know what I'm saying? Just like that. He's the stereotypical American male that just grew up like, toughen up, put some dirt on it.
Yep.
Don't cry. He
checks all those boxes.
He checks all those boxes. Definitely. And so like now he's getting to that age where like he's actually experiencing these different emotions, and like he's just now learning how to like open up a little bit about this stuff. And so I wanted to, and so this was a really good, just talking about men and like our mental health and like emotions and stuff. And especially like just me experiencing like my brother passing away, and just, there was a time in my marriage, like I wasn't comfortable opening up to Xanta like emotionally.
Right.
And there was like several things that happened, that caused that. But like, 15 years later, she's been so supportive of me and my mom, you know what I'm saying? Because like, my wife and my mom didn't always like really get along like that. And like, she's been like so supportive for the both of us during this time. It actually, something that tragically, that came from tragedy, like a lot of good
is coming
from it. And so like, when I was watching this, like I was getting emotional watching this comedy set.
Yeah.
Just because of my experience going through what I went through, and then just watching him kind of go through, and just like, not enough guys like really talk about our emotions and like
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Because part of it is society makes it seem like we're not supposed to.
Especially for guys that's our age, maybe and older, or and slightly younger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like maybe 5 years or so younger than where we are, maybe 35 and up.
Yeah.
And up probably. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that we were brought up in a time where it was society kind of looked down on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where you had to kind of not wear your emotions on your sleeve or button it up or keep it kind of tucked away and hidden, you know? And so that's very real and a very real perspective too, because man, as a kid, you were going to get made fun of if you expressed any emotion, you know, and once you got to be older, you know, you were looked at as less than or, you know, gay, which was, you know, something to not, what you weren't really looking forward to. You know what I'm saying? So like chicks would think that you were gay if you expressed emotion, you know, your family would be making fun of you. Your uncles would be,
your friends, your homeboys,
everybody,
like, you know what I'm saying?
So like, so it was a thing that a lot of people just innately learn to put away and to not expose, you know what I'm saying? And so I think that a lot of people struggle with that.
For sure.
So that's all right. And here we go.
All right, let's get into it.
Right now, currently, you know, because the relationship is alive, man, right? Currently, I am getting along with my wife better than I ever have in the 20 years that I've known her. Yeah. I figured something out. Basically, what happened was a friend of mine died, right? I'm of that age, you know? It's starting to happen. I'm 56, right? Which, granted, this is too young to die of natural causes, but it's not too young to drop dead, right? Like, as a man, I am in my drop dead years, which are basically ages 49 to about 61. You know, anything past that, you're just looking at like a prolonged illness, you know? But these are the years that men drop dead. And dropping dead is a uniquely male experience, right? Women don't drop dead. When was the last time you were out to brunch and there was some woman, hey, I get my mouse done, just grabs her chest and face down into some tapas? Oh my God, Kathy, right? They don't. Men drop dead all the time. You're out there on the golf course, some guy all of a sudden just her into the shrubs. Another guy driving at you in a cart, his buddy just falls out the side. What happened? You know what happened. He never cried. That's what happened. He held on to it.
Wow.
You know, he was putting his pants on and he just rolled back on the bed. He never got back up again. It can happen. Like, I'll give you a scenario. Let's say, you know, I'm upstairs.
Hey, I'm glad you paused it right there because I wanted to say something about that.
Yeah.
Like, man, so my mom used to tell me as a kid, she was like, yo, you got to, you know, just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to cry. She used to try to coach me into that. Like, she would be like, you know, you got to get that stuff off your chest. She said, because stress will kill you, you know, and I didn't really know what she was saying at the time, you know what I mean? Because everything else in the world was suggesting otherwise.
Right.
But, man, as I've gotten older and actually learned, you know, how much stress contributes to illness and contributes to like spiraling downward. And even when you do get sick, when people get cancer, when people have like these things, they say to, you know, try to find a happy place, you know what I'm saying? Get around people that love you, you know, remove the stressors in your life. Yeah. And so that's just so interesting that he said, you know, like he never learned to cry, you know what I'm saying? But like at the end of the day, you keep all that stuff bottled up, man, and it has consequences, you know?
Start killing over, man. Like, and it's right. Like you don't really hear women.
Right. You don't.
Just dropping like that. You know what I'm saying?
You don't.
Man, I was at so my wife, I was taking her car in. This was like sometime like last year. She had like a nail in her tire. So I took her to this tire place to get basically had to get the tire replaced. And so I'm sitting in the waiting room. It's me and it's just this other couple. They look like maybe a little bit older than us. Mm-hmm. You know, just husband and wife, right? And like they're sitting there and the dude is like, you can tell he's visibly tired. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And he's kind of like, you know, he's dozing off and like he starts snoring a little bit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I look up and she looks at me. She's like embarrassed and like, she's like nudging him like this to keep him awake.
And let that man get that sleep.
Bro, like, you know what I'm saying? And I wish I could go back and talk. I didn't say nothing, right? I was just like, I think I did say, I was like, hey, you good. They don't, I got 4 kids. I'm used to like noise. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
But like, I was just thinking like that happened like maybe like 3 times where he dozed off and she like kept on like making them. And it's just me in the room. You know what I'm saying? It's just the 3 of us. And I'm thinking like, man, this dude probably works really hard. He's tired. He just want to, just get some sleep. He's providing the money to get his car fixed. And it's like, yo, just let the man
catch his little nap real quick.
Let him get a little nap in. Like, I was like, I wish I would have just like said something to her. You know what I'm saying? But she just, I don't think she was doing it out of like, she just.
That's just kind of like nature, you know what I mean? It's like a natural reaction. Like,
yeah. So man, it's tough out here for fellas.
Man, it really is, bro.
All right, let's go on to the next.
It's a weird part of my life. I really am. It's this great thing where I'm just letting go of a lot of shit and also kind of discovering stuff about myself. Like I found out recently I have like depression issues. I couldn't believe it. I always hate when people, I'm fucking depressed. Shut up, you fucking pussy. Just get up and plow through it. Like the I got clinical depression. I couldn't get off the ground. I had no fucking empathy whatsoever. I used to look at those people like, what the fuck is wrong with them? And I had the exact same thing. I had no fucking idea, I don't have like clinical depression. I have regular depression, I got the regular stuff, like a lot of fucked up shit happened to me. I never dealt with it. I just kind of kept putting it over here, It just sort of floats over here. And every once in a while, it taps me on the shoulder like, hey, you ready to deal with this shit? I'm like, okay, maybe. Or I could death scroll on Instagram and watch some guy refurbishing old skillets for like the next 3 hours. Oh, maybe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll stay up till 3 in watching people like power wash like sidewalks and driveways rather than unpacking that shit. And it's always fucking tapping me on the shoulder, creeping up on me. I call it the fog. So I try to stay ahead of it. And I have all these hobbies and all these different things that I do. So I just keep moving so it can't keep up with me, right? And I've noticed at some point I'm going to have to face this, right? So the end of last year, I was taking like 6 weeks off from the road, and I knew it was coming, right? I felt it. I said, hey, here you go, Bill. You're off the road. Time to deal, right? And this time I was like, you know what? This. I'm just going to sit in this as long as I could sit in it. And see what happens, right? So it took about 3 days before my wife noticed, right? I was sitting over in the corner. I had like an Afghan like wrapped around me. I wasn't shaving and shit. I'm just sitting there watching TV all day. And what's funny? When you shave your head like this, it looks like jujitsu possibly, But after 3 days, you look like some retired shoe salesman, that didn't get the gold watch. So I'm sitting there. And my wife, we got 2 little kids. She took her a few days to notice. She finally takes me in. She goes, hey, what's going on with you? She's like, is everything all right? And I was like, no. And she's like, what's the matter? And for the first time in 20 years of knowing her, I actually communicated an emotion. I swear to God. She goes, what's the matter? And I go, I'm sad. Exactly. That's fucking hilarious coming out of a man's mouth. It's just funny. Yeah. She didn't know what the fuck to do. Right? Men aren't allowed to be sad. We're allowed to be one of 2 things. We're allowed to be mad or fine. That's it. Right? Those are normal behaviors of a man. You can be mad like, Jesus Christ, who put this here? How many times do I gotta say, keep this goddamn area clean? Jesus Christ, somebody's gonna fall, break their neck. I'm so tired of I said it once, I said it 100 times, right? And then what does your wife just rolls her eyes? Just send him out in the yard, let him walk it off. Throw him a beer out there, he'll be fine, right? Yeah, he'll be good, right? You're allowed to be that or fine. How you doing, Bill? I'm fine. You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. I said it was fine. What the fuck when I say it's fine? And you just right back over there. And your whole life is that. And what's weird about a guy is we feel all the other emotions, right? Melancholy, being sentimental, enjoying a sunset, all of that type of shit. But all this in here is just called gay, right?
You called it.
It's just a giant bag of gay. You swing it over your shoulder and you just throw that in the woods. That's it. You do that for half a century. One day you grab your chest and you go down, and then that's it. It's a wrap. Yeah. So I'm an old dad. I got to be here for my kids. So I got to start figuring myself out here. So, yeah, I just told her. I was like, I just said I'm sad, and she just went, oh. She's like, was it something I did? Did I do something? I said, no, you and me are great. You and me are great. This is some shit from a long time ago, that I just been thinking it's been coming up and all of that. It's just been really bothering me. And she goes, oh, okay, well, I'm sorry. And then she just walked out of the room. And I couldn't even get mad at her. I was just envious, right? I was like, I didn't know you could do that. All these years of listening to you dump your day on me.
Right.
Haven't
Right.
actively listened. Mandy said that to you? No, she didn't. Oh, my goodness. So what did you say? Oh, you said that? No, you were totally within your right to say that. And I feel proud to be with you knowing that you stuck up for yourself in that moment. Jesus Christ. Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, bro. Hey, and so this is the thing about great comics, man. Like they can get them a very extremely real life issue across in a hilarious way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, what he's saying is 100% spot on.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could go through my phone and every guy on my phone has experienced this exact same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's, wow.
Yeah, man. So like, realizing that, what do you call it? The cloud, the fog or whatever.
The fog, yeah.
The fog that keeps following him represents like all this stuff that you haven't dealt with in your life. And it keeps knocking on the door.
Yep.
And like, hey, when we're going to address this, like.
Just trying to outrun it. Hey.
Yeah.
And that's real, man.
You can't outrun it, bro. Like, it's going to catch you. You know what I'm saying?
It definitely is.
It's going to catch you, and it's going to turn into, either a health issue, or just like an emotional issue, going to affect your marriage, your parenting,
all of the above,
business, like all that, man. So, we definitely, and I think it's great that we're kind of living in a time now where it's socially acceptable to talk
100%.
more about mental health.
100%.
And it's okay to like for people, not just guys, but anybody like to go get help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's one of the, man, I so strongly advise everybody to go seek counseling. Like, I think that it's ultimately crucial for everybody because we all have something, whether we recognize what it is that we're dealing with or whether we don't recognize what it is that we're dealing with. But nobody's walked through life in a perfect way. You know what I'm saying? And we've all been impacted by something. And sometimes we can identify the things that or sometimes we've just coped with it and didn't even realize that was the thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But either way, it's still something that needs to be dealt with and handled so that you can move on healthily. Yeah. And you're right. Like in 2025, it's the best point that it's ever been as far as, like I think about kids nowadays, like they're literally okay to just be themselves. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's a great thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's one plus. Yeah, man. So yeah, absolutely. So the things that, like you said, we're all affected. We've been affected by something, and it's going to stay there until you do something. Like time and age, like doesn't make that stuff, like your childhood stuff, go away. You know what I'm saying? And so like, I got people that a couple of friends younger than me, like starting to get into marriage and telling me about their issues, and it's like because me and my wife, we've been through counseling, two different different counseling sessions for extended period of time. It's like you kind of like know more, and then we got the 15 years of marriage plus like the counseling is like I'm more equipped now to like kind of help people through some stuff. I'm no expert, but I can like give some advice, but I can also see like, oh, that's going to be a red flag right there. Like that's going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all need to address that now. Yep. Cause like you love her now, like if that keeps up, like that love can be that'll wear thin. That'll wear thin. That's also why it's important. You mentioned being able to speak into other people's situations. That's why it's so important for community. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because a lot of times when we deal with issues, we just keep it to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want family to be in our business. We don't want friends to be in our business. You don't want to go talk to somebody that's a stranger. And it's been such a taboo, especially in the Black community, for such a long time. I'm glad it's getting better now, but it's crucial to have some good people, some Jesus people that can speak into your life. You know what I'm saying? To kind of help you walk this thing out a little bit better.
Absolutely. All right, let's get on to the next clip.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're happy. Don't mind me. I'm just over here in a walking depression. But as long as you're happy, I'm happy. Don't mind me. Hey, look at me. I'm over here. I'm learning how to make a crepe. Yeah, I'm learning how to make a crepe. Wow, Bill, you have so many interests. No, just sad. Just sad, Just trying to quiet the voices so I don't put rocks in my pocket and step in the pool. Okay? Who wants a crepe? Yeah, there are a lot of sad men. I realize that now that I know how fucked up I am. You can always, I can see through the matrix. There's so many sad guys, they don't even know they're sad. Yeah, ladies, you're married. You're probably married to a sad guy right now. That's what the garage is for. That's what the garage is for. Wow. You tease him to your friends. He's always out there working on that project. He's never going to finish. Yeah, because he can't see the measurement through the tears. Right? I'll give you another classic sad guy. That cool uncle you got, the one who never got married, right? The one with the motorcycle. And you're looking at him, wow, he's so cool. He rides a motorcycle. He's not afraid to die. Yeah, because he died years ago. Whatever happened to him. He comes over for the holidays. How long does he last seeing a loving family? He can't handle it. He wants it. He doesn't know how to get it. Gotta hit the trail. And he rides away. And you're like, wow, he's so cool. That's because you can't see the tears streaking down his face, conditioning his ponytail. As he rides off to some sleeve-tattooed, traumatized woman. Is this too sad for even Seattle? All right, well, I will give you the #1 place to see sad men. Guitar Center. Oh, my God.
Hey, so pause on that real quick. So I used to go kick it at Guitar Center, earlier on, back when I used to go to like Apache Cafe, early 20s. Yeah. And it's funny you said that, man, because it's a lot of people that go to Guitar Center, because you can always get on the instruments, you know what I'm saying? They just let you get on, and it's a lot of people that miss their boat, you know what I'm saying? Still trying to, relive the, you know what I mean? They're trying to hold on to it. Yeah. And that's crazy. I never even thought about that, you know what I mean? But you can, all ages, they'll be in there on the drums and on the bass or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. Yeah. And I remember I bought a bass guitar once from Guitar Center, and when I was buying new strings, and I never really learned how to play. I thought I was going to. But you would see the same people, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have like regulars at Guitar Center, like it's a bar or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, and I never even thought about the why. But when he said that, it's like, damn, that's what that was. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, like I said, when you go through, when you experience it a little bit, you can see it in other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, fellas, I don't know how many of y'all, like, you pull up to your house and then you just sit in your car for like 15 minutes. If that's you, there's probably some things in your life we need to address, man. Like, you might be depressed, you might not be happy, you might be bummed out. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different, like, little signs like that. It's like, oh man, like, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
So yeah, bro, like, we have to, as guys, take care of our mental health, talk to somebody.
Yes.
Get into community, small group if you're in church, whatever that is, you know what I'm saying? Like, and be around people that you can, because some of us have friends we can't really be safe with.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you do put your feelings out there, you're going to be called gay. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to shatter all that. So sometimes, the people that you love, they're not at the maturity level that you can, like, so you got to, like,
vulnerable.
Yeah, yeah. So you got to find people, you got to go out and seek it. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it's hard to find, but you got to go out and find it and find people you can be vulnerable with. And, you know, because again, this stuff, it's amazing how the mental affects the physical and everything else. So,
man, where the mind goes, the body follows, bro. And like that's just the realest thing ever. And so, like you said, there's different points. Man, I've been to that place, you know, pull up to the house and just be like, you know what I'm saying? Or you know, maybe sit in the parking lot at work for, you know, another 15 or 20 minutes before I actually left the job. You know what I'm saying? Thankfully, I'm not in that space or place. Yeah. But I have been before, so I definitely understand that. You know what I'm saying? And that's 100% real. Like, you got to be proactive about it because nobody else can take care of it for you. It's something that we got to take care of ourselves. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, and I guess that being said, you know, take care of yourself and get busy.
Get busy, y'all. Sure. Love y'all, man. Have a good one. See y'all next one.
Peace.
Peace.